Second. All right. We are live. We are coming out. We are stepping up so that children have a chance to speak out. My name is Teresa Port, and I have the beautiful Isabella Tabeau here with me. And we
Hello.
have Marcus Reese. And we are part of, but not all of, the board for a very amazing nonprofit that's being created called Break the Silence. And we are so excited to reach out and share our message with the world. So I wanted to just come together with these amazing people and give everybody a chance to understand who we are and break the silence, why we exist, and what we're doing with this amazing, fun 5K. And I would love for my friend Marcus to talk for just a moment about what Break the Silence means to him and why he's passionate about it today, like right now.
Thanks, Teresa. Thanks for having me. Um, so, I was born and raised here in Taylor. I'm a lifelong resident, and this project is real dear to my heart. Um, Being a survivor, and when I use that term, it was something that had an attachment of shame and guilt. Um, and having went through the legal system, having a trial, having a case, having a verdict, it was such a long journey, and I feel it only right for me to lend my voice um, to to break the silence here in Taylor and the community that I came up in that gave me so much support as I was going through my trial. So I'm passionate about it. Um, I think every day, how can we make this event something that starts a ripple effect throughout other communities? So.
Marcus, I think that's beautiful. And, you were in a position where you were able to go through the legal system. And you know what? I don't know that everybody watching this video right now and everybody that's heard about Break the Silence understands what we're breaking the silence on. We are breaking the silence on sexual violence that takes dominion, puts strongholds, and really affects people. And you said the word right when you said it, shame, right? Because so many times victims, and I'm speaking of myself, victims of sexual violence, we go into this place of shame and regret and feelings of being insignificant. And oh, if I'm caught, if somebody catches on with what happened to me, what are they going to think about me? Like all these stupid lies, right, that play in your mind over and over and over throughout your life that become part of that funnel through which we process every decision in our life through, right?
Mhm.
And so, and I think, when I went through the situation multiple times through my life, I never went to court. I never told anybody because of that word that you mentioned, which was shame. Because if they knew, then something was wrong with me. Right. And really, something was wrong with me. I was holding this huge elephant and I didn't need to. And so, Break the Silence is all about giving a platform for people just like yourselves to know that they have support and that they can speak out, and the liberty and the freedom that will come when you use your voice and when you don't. A good friend of mine, well, I like to call her a friend. She doesn't really know me that well, but I follow her. Her name is Abby Johnson. And she said something one time. She says, the enemy can no longer control you in the dark with what you expose in the light. And Break the Silence is something that gives us a platform to expose in the light, not to tell your dirty secrets, but to give you a chance to release yourself from it, if in fact you are a victim. And for those that aren't victims, to create a conduit of information for that people, moms and daughters and dads and sons, whatever, can have this communication so that it doesn't have to happen. So many times I think things happen because we got scared and we didn't say anything, and then it got worse, right? We got put in a position of compromise and we didn't say anything because we didn't know what to say, and then it got worse, right? because there was no voice, there was no conduit of information. And I want to give my friends Isabella and I have been friends for a long time. Marcus and I really just met through this program, and I'm so grateful that this program brought us together. And I think it's going to bring so many people together. But Isabella and I have known each other for years and years, and I've always loved her heart and always loved the way that you, Isabella, have poured into people, and you've always taken like this support role, right, from behind the scenes. And when I first met you, you were super involved with victim services. And when I told you about a story that recently happened in my family, you said, "Oh, we're gonna change this. We're gonna do something." And you got to work, my friend. And I don't know anybody that works as hard as you do for loving people the way you do, Isabella. So can you talk about what support and resources we're going to bring to the table through the Break the Silence program?
So thank you, Teresa, for your kind words. So I used to work for the Williamson County, volunteered at the Williamson County Sheriff's Department Victim Assistance Unit. And that is when I heard about sexual assault on children. So basically our job was actually just going out in any kind when a death occurred. That was our main job. And but there was a lot of family violences that we were involved too. And this is how I heard about this. And I learned, that's my personal perspective, I learned that predators are very, very protected until proven guilty, which is that's our system, and this is okay. I'm not having a problem with that. What I have a problem with, that there is no outreach for victims, and that's where my heart is. So this is what prompted me that. And when you shared just another thing, and I heard about another case before, and I need to be very vague, and I want to be very vague about that, because not exposing cases or sources from how I heard it. It happens over and over again. It happens in Taylor. It happens right in our street. And predators, difficult word for me. It's hard for a non-American tongue. They have a cushy life because they are pretty sure nobody talks about this. This is a huge taboo. We're not discussing this. We're never bringing this up. And they can continue their thing because nobody talks about this. And we're stopping this. When I heard this, I said, enough is enough. Someone should do something, was what I always thought. And then I realized, you know what? I am someone, and I'm doing something about that. And I went to my friend Marcus. We met at a coffee shop, and I asked him, here's my idea. I want to change this. Do you want to be in? What do you think about that? And without skipping a beat, he said, let's do it. Let's roll. And from then on, we got CAC involved, which is the Children's Advocacy Center. Those are amazing people who take care of children who are victims of sexual assault. And it's not just adults or teenagers, it's often small children, and they have no voice. And even in families, they are very open with their children. They ask them, why do you never say something? Because we are really open, you could have come to us. And they don't say something because these people who just had so much power over their little bodies told them something will happen to your mommy if you say that. So these little kids, besides living with this trauma, they're living also with a burden to protect their parents. And if someone had so much power over your little body, or even as an adult over your body, you believe everything what they do to you. So this is something, okay, we need to give you a safe place where you can actually speak up, and we can tell you there are survivors. There are people who claimed their life back. Thank you, Marcus. And who said, okay, now we're speaking out for you. I always see Marcus as a person who went through hell and came back with buckets of water and poured on people who are still on fire. And this is exactly what we're going to do.
Yeah.
Isabella, I appreciate your words. You ladies were speaking. not everyone knows my story, and not to go into too many specifics, but my abuse lasted for 10 years, right? And so when you think about a decade of abuse that started at 5, it's done in a secret place, a quiet place, in dark rooms, right? And so how do you expose something that is done in such a quiet place, right? We need these type of events that we're trying to do, that we're talking about it in a safe place with family, with advocates, right? And so there's so many layers that this event is going to remove, so many stigmas and taboos. And I'm really excited to be a part of the first one. And I have my voice back,
Mm.
right? I have my voice back. And so, like you were mentioning, it's you're indoctrinated with this idea that, okay, if you tell anyone, something worse is going to happen. And I'm, what I want everyone to know is my abuse didn't stop at the 10 years. That sexual part stopped. The trauma was still manifesting. I didn't really feel like the abuse was stopped until I spoke up.
Mhm.
And what can feel like the worst day was me unloading everything, was my best day. That changed everything when I was able just to open, speak, and have someone say, "We believe you." And that changed everything. Your power is given back to you when you break, your silence, right? So I appreciate what you guys are doing.
Mm.
Well, you are doing it. And I want to say something what Teresa said. You said you didn't want to know, any anybody shouldn't know about your dirty little secret. The point is, it's not your dirty little secret. We exposing their dirty little secret.
Right.
And once we start talking, they don't have this wall of quietness around them where they can hide. It's time that we are speaking up. And so let me talk a little bit about the event. It will be on April 15, Murphy Park. Come early. We will have a 3K run or walk. So we know there are some runners, they just come and want to run, and that's fine. You're welcome to do this. We also will put the link for our free Eventbrite sign up in there, and we ask you to sign up if you plan to come, because it gives us for our first event an idea how many people do we expect, how many lunches do we have, how many t-shirts do we need to order, because everything at this event is free to the public. It is solely sponsored through donations. We have fantastic partners who sponsored monetary or in-kind donations. We have people who sponsored gift baskets, gift cards. It's great. All you have to do is show up.
Right.
And sign up at the park. Starts at 7:00. The race will start staggered. Let the runners go first, so they are not stopped by mothers with strollers, and let them go first. A little bit later, we let families go, and we will have little booths along the way with information. So one booth could ask you a question. What do you think, from 10 people, how many children actually do speak up? One.
Right.
Another booth will probably say, so if someone as a teenager was a victim of sexual assault, what time do you think they will openly talk about this? And the average is actually over 50. Things like that. So there's a lot of valuable information, but do not think this will be a super gloomy event. It's more based on information. You get good information along your walk, and then you come back. There will be prizes, there will be bands. We have amazing artists who donate their time and talent, and we have speakers. We have one speaker who speaks about internet safety. This is super, super, super important because a lot of grooming happens there.
Mhm.
There were some very public cases just lately. how terrible that can go, and we want to prevent that. So our first idea is, of course, prevent it. The second idea is to say, look for the signs. If someone doesn't want to go to this person anymore or don't want to play with that person anymore, listen to this. So in that case, the boogeyman can be real. Maybe it's nothing, but check and verify, things like that. And the rest will be free lunch donated by Mopsy Catering and Thorndale Meat Market. And we will have fantastic sausage wraps. You will have water and iced tea. And so we take care of your food, we take care of your fun, we take care of music. There will be a bouncing house for kids. And while we have the speakers for the adults, at the same time, we will have another booth for children. They can play at the same time. So they are not having this gloomy thing, and a 4-year-old is probably getting antsy when they listen to a speaker, but we want you to get a message. So we're really planning it to the T. Be a little bit, bear with us. It's our very first event, and this is going to be a big event. So we hope it's going to be amazing. All you have to do is show up, support this, and hey, look at the shirt. That's a little bit weird, right? What I'm just doing. Yeah, thank you for supporting me. This is our Break the Silence shirt. Even the logo was donated to us by a professional design artist. Thank you for that. And let's break the silence. Let's break the silence together. Let's stop violence, and let's make it a little bit uncomfortable for predators and more safe for each and every one of them. Because it takes a village to protect our children, not only to raise, but also to protect our children.
So good. Yes. I'm so excited about this event. It's going to exceed all of our expectations. I know that it is. We've already exceeded our expectations on getting supporters so that everything can be free. So thank you to everybody. And if you don't know, you can go to our Break the Silence group on Facebook, and you can see who all of our sponsors are. Of course, we're doing everything we can to share that as well, because, that's so important. We can't do this alone. We have created an opportunity for small businesses to show up as a team in this event. And what a team is doing is you are uniting. The team is coming in united, saying we are standing up as a team. So I've got a couple of them. Isabella, throw me a couple of names, but I've got BCHA, which is Bastrop Christian Homeschool Association, Family Worship Center, my personal church, Top Hat Chimney Sweeps. We've got other teams. What are some of the other teams, Isabella and Marcus? Tennis Association, right? Taylor Tennis Association. Yes,
we have a lot of donors who wanted to rename anonymous. However, they got groups together.
Yes.
Taylor Pride was big in this and supported us because, unfortunately, a lot of members of the LGBTQIA+ community, they experienced this a lot in their youth, so they stepped up and saw the need and helped us with a generous donation and support. Thank you for that. And
I feel like sexual violence is non-discriminatory. I mean, it affects everybody, man, women, child, regardless of how. It's just a predator that attacks and will hold you hostage. So we want to do our part to break that silence, to give you a voice, and to embrace everybody through it, because that is the key, embracing everybody. And that's the point of these teams, for teams to show up and say, like, I don't have any bias. I'm just stepping up to stop this. And in a community like Taylor, where we've had a little bit of division, it is time for unity. It is time for us to stand together, regardless of our beliefs, our feelings, whatever. It doesn't even matter. It's time to stand up and say, but this, I draw the line.
Yes, it's about children. It's about violence. And this is all we need to look at. Yes. This needs to be stopped, and we need to put everything aside and link arms and fight this together. And that is what we as a board are doing. And we are really happy for everyone who supported us. And I want to tell you one more thing. In Taylor, we have a victim service unit. Priscilla Marino is chairing this. She's amazing. She used to be in Georgetown and is now in Taylor. She's on our board and she's helping a lot. It's important that you know who to talk to, where you can go, who are the helpers, and this information you will be getting on the 15th.
Yay. A final thought, at this event, there will be a lot of support services that are out there. We are going to have Child Advocacy Center, as Isabella said. We'll have victim services. We'll also have Starry, Texas Baptist Children's Home. We will have many different organizations that become your front line of defense when something like this happens. And we want you to get familiar with them. For one, maybe this never, ever, ever phases you, but maybe you want to step up and volunteer in a different way, right? We want you to have exposure to some of these nonprofit organizations. And maybe you're a friend of somebody whose daughter or son just went through something and you want to provide resources to them. You could definitely be a conduit in that area. And for this event, we don't want just the kids to show up. We want moms to show up. You see, I feel like had I opened pathways of communication with my children, I could have possibly prevented some things happening to them. We don't know. I don't know that. And I'm not taking guilt around it, but we do need to step up. We need to speak out before we're 50 and 60 and 70 years old, right? We need to change that number from 1 in 10 to 10 of 10. We want everybody to speak up.
Yes, and we want them to know it's safe. This is the first step of healing. There are people that will help you. And a lot of people don't even know. They feel often, I'm the only one that happened to, so I'm not talking about that. That's the first step. The second step is to say, actually, there are people who are helping. And a lot of people have no idea who they are, and that is what we want to show. Again, it's not a doom and gloom event. It's going to be a fun event. We will have a lot of fun and for the whole families, and we made it on purpose. We are one of the very few events that's free for all.
Right.
There is no fundraising. We're not going around with a hat. If you want to support us, we'll take your money, but you don't have to.
We'll take it.
We want to make sure that low-income families are with 3 or 4 children can come, and they will get a free lunch, and they will get their T-shirts if they are early. We can only order a certain amount, but we estimate how many will come. And all games are free. Bouncy house is free. Music is free. Everything is free, and it will be a fun day in the park. But you go home better equipped. Marcus, I think you always said that an informed child is a safe child. Is that what you said? How do you say this?
An educated child is a protected child, you know.
Yes.
And I want to just leave with my last bit. It takes some courage for people to want to share their story, to even show up to an event like this, right? People have their stories, and you may come and not share, and you may come and want to share, you may come and want education. And this event is all encompassing. Everyone is welcome to come. And, one thing many people don't know about me is when I came forward, right, to share my story, I had help. And in my situation, there was another victim, right, who called me on the phone and said, can I talk to you? And I said, sure. I hadn't talked to this person in a long time. And in my mind, like, what could you have to say to me? We don't really know each other, right? And she used to be a neighbor. And so she reached out and told me, hey, when I was a child, the person that we both knew, abused me. And Isabella, you said a lot of people think it only happens to me. I'm alone. When this person came to me and told me this, my whole world changed, right? And she broke her silence. And that helped me come forward. So it wasn't even something that I was just ready to do. I was really afraid, right? And because of someone else's courage, who was willing to say, something's wrong with Marcus, I'm going to talk to him, she bridged the gap that I needed in my life to come forward. And so when you start breaking silence, you have no idea the positive impact that you have around people. You have no idea. It's far reaching when you turn that light on. So I just want to leave people with that idea that, you showing up there, just being there and getting information that you may have not heard before can prevent so many things by just your attendance. in a family setting where there's something for everyone. So I urge you to be there. I look forward to seeing you.
Yeah, so good. Thank you for sharing that, Marcus. We are better together. We are stronger together, and we can lift each other up, right?
Yes.
Well, thank you to my amazing friends that are on here. We are doing this. We are doing this, you guys, and it
We're
is
doing
so
it.
exciting. Yes. And it's going to be a blessed event. And guess what? It's not going to stop on April 16th. This is something that we are going to just light the world on fire with, I believe. And we don't even know what that looks like yet. I think God only knows what that looks like, but I'm willing. And I know that these two people are, as well as the rest of our board. So thank you for everybody that's watched. Thank you for those that have agreed to be teams, to be sponsors, to be donors, to just share this information. You can share this video on your Facebook page, and that would be so much appreciated, because just hearing this video may give somebody the courage to speak up.
That's right.
And
Right.
make sure, I just want to make sure we're not expecting you to come to the event and speak up. You don't
Right.
have to, you're not getting a microphone in your head, in front of your face, and we expect you to speak up. We are here in a safe place. I want to make sure that you understand that. But if you want to speak, there will be someone there who will listen and who will believe you and who is trained to help you.
Amen. Yeah. So good. Well, thank you guys for your time today. Thank you, friends, for being on. Yes, let's do this. Let's break the silence together. And our theme is stepping up so our children can speak out. So that is what we are doing. God bless you all. Thank you. Have
Thank
a
you.
wonderful day.
Thank you.
Yes. Thank you.
See you there.